Hey guys! Welcome to Lights on Turkish Stars. Everything you're curious about is right here in this video, so settle in, hit subscribe, and share if you enjoy the scoop. Thank you so much for being with us. The whispers that have been echoing through the Turkish celebrity scene for months have finally heated up enough to feel undeniable. After a chapter that split their fans into two camps and a separation that left a trail of questions, it's being said that Gökberk, Yıldırım, and Cemre Arda have quietly found their way back to each other. According to chatter close to the pair, the stunning Cemre Arda has offered her former partner, the charismatic Gökberk Yıldırım, a second chance, and the two have chosen to relight their spark far from the roar of cameras. Their connection was born under the bright glare of set lights. Working side by side on a shared project, the chemistry that was first obvious to colleagues soon took on a life of its own. Their on-set banter spilled into late-night conversations, and before long, their closeness was no longer a secret. The early days felt like scenes from a romance drama, stolen glances, candid laughter, and a handful of intimate photos that slipped onto social media like breadcrumbs confirming what everyone suspected. Their fans fell hard for the story. And then, just as abruptly, it ended. The breakup was sudden enough to jolt gossip pages and heartfelt enough to leave followers searching for a reason. No official explanation ever came. Instead, the usual suspects were whispered about in the industry's corridors: schedules that refused to align, creative paths that tugged them in different directions, and the kind of communication misfires that can undo even the strongest of attractions. Time passed. Rumors cooled. And yet, feelings rarely obey timelines. Friends say both of them did a lot of thinking. Most of all, they say Cemre Arda listened to a quieter voice, the one that told her some stories deserve another chapter. Word from those who've seen them recently is that the pair started meeting in places where attention melts away, letting their conversations breathe, letting old hurts surface and soften. This time, it seems, they're opting for stillness over spectacle. Sources insist their pace is slower, their approach calmer, their boundaries sturdier. Even so, the clues began adding up in plain sight. The two have been spotted arriving at the same venues at different hours, then leaving just far enough apart to dodge group photos. Posts from matching landscapes, sunsets, rooftops, a certain coffee shop brick wall, sent fans into detective mode. Their mutual friends have suddenly been photographed together more than usual, fueling guesses that the couple is keeping good company in familiar circles. And although no frame has caught them side by side yet, whispers behind closed doors claim that pretending there's nothing between them has become impossible. As talk of a reconciliation climbed the trending lists, the fandom split right down the middle. One camp believes in fate and second chances, leaving comments like "real love doesn't give up." The other camp is cautious, remembering how quickly things fell apart the first time, urging patience, urging care. Among the most devoted supporters of Cemre Arda, a gentle refrain keeps appearing: may her heart be protected, may the promises be real this time, may what's being rebuilt stand taller than before. Neither Gökberk Yıldırım nor Cemre Arda has stepped forward with an official statement. That silence, perhaps, is deliberate. Several entertainment insiders whisper that the couple wants to wait for a precise moment, when they feel steady enough to share one image, one appearance, that speaks for itself. If the speculation proves true, their return to each other is on track to become one of the standout stories of the year. And then came the comments that made everyone look twice. In recent interviews, Cemre Arda let a few lines slip that many read as coded confessions. "Everything is flowing the way it needs to," she said, and elsewhere, "sometimes you have to let experience teach you, and listen to your heart when it's quiet." To fans, these aren't random reflections. They're the map back to something she once cherished. Parallel to that, those close to Gökberk Yıldırım claim he has privately owned up to the wrong turns he took before, and is ready to show up differently, more present, more committed, more patient. People close to both say this reunion hasn't been a simple decision. Not a whim, not nostalgia. Long conversations happened, the kind that stretch late into the night and leave nothing unsaid. They are believed to have revisited the scenes that hurt, not to blame, but to understand. Boundaries, it said, have been redrawn with care: what to share, what to keep, how to speak when tension rises, how to step back before small misunderstandings turn large. There's also a pact, reportedly, to guard their private life against the rush of public curiosity. Fewer hints, fewer posts, more living in the actual moments. Meanwhile, the rumor mill has found a new melody: a possible professional reunion. After the praise they received for their on-screen chemistry, the suggestion that they might collaborate again has set excitement dancing through the fandom. Nothing is confirmed, but insiders say they've begun looking for a script that could mirror the maturity they're bringing to their personal lives, something grown, unhurried, true. Whether or not such a project lands soon, observers say they're already quietly cheering for each other's victories behind the scenes. That solidarity, that tenderness, may be the strongest sign that this isn't a repeat, this is a rewrite. Day to day, there's a noticeable shift. Their rhythm seems calmer, more balanced. They're consciously steering clear of shared social media drops to avoid feeding the frenzy. Yet those who cross paths with them say the reconnection is palpable in the smallest gestures: how they listen, how they check in, how they smile after a difficult day. In the gossip circles, their story has earned a new title: the second act of a love that never quite finished telling itself. Still, the question hangs in the air. Will this be the version that lasts? Eyes everywhere are waiting for the first real proof. One photo, one event, one hand brushing the other without hesitation. Until then, the city is full of sightings with edges blurred on purpose. According to several witnesses, they've aimed for the quieter corners of Istanbul lately. They're seen entering separately, slipping into the same table, talking in the hush of dim lights. Busy places are avoided. Silent courtyards and tucked-away terraces are preferred. It's a pattern that tells a story without saying a word, caution born from lessons learned. Even with commitments stacking up, those close to Cemre Arda say she's carving out time that belongs only to them. Planning short escapes. Weekend pauses near the sea. Little islands where they can breathe without performance, without commentary. There are no polished photos or joint posts to prove any of it, and perhaps that's the point. They want a pocket of quiet to reacquaint themselves not with the myth of their romance, but with the reality of it. And there's another layer: family. It's reported that both sides received the news of a calmer reunion with warmth. The bridges that were built during the first chapter were never burned, and that familiarity seems to be back in the mix. Calls have been exchanged, visits hinted at, an environment created that feels like a cushion rather than a spotlight. For a bond this visible, having a circle that supports rather than speculates is priceless. In the middle of all this, Cemre Arda has been painted as more grounded than ever. Friends say she's looking at herself honestly, acknowledging what she needs and what she can't accept, and choosing with intention rather than impulse. The second chance, then, is not naivete, it's a measured step. On the other side, those who know Gökberk Yıldırım describe a softened intensity. He's listening more, talking less, picking his moments. There's a gentleness in the way he navigates her sensitivities now, a patience that wasn't always there before. Some evenings, according to onlookers, they'll arrive at a beloved restaurant minutes apart. One slips in. The other follows. They sit close, leaning in, careful but content. And when the crowd swells too loud, they choose somewhere else. Maybe a late-night walk by the water, maybe a discreet drive to a lookout where the city feels smaller and the future, for once, doesn't require an audience. Those who study the currents of fame are convinced their caution is the answer to last time's pressure. There's a resolve to protect the center, to let the outside noise fade. One person who has known them both for years summed it up neatly: they're not hiding, they're nurturing. There's a difference, and it shows. Around them, the industry keeps moving, and so do the possibilities. Scripts come and go. Roles wait. Interviews are carefully curated. If a joint project does land, it will be because it deserves them, not because the moment demands it. Until then, their choices seem to echo the same theme: slow, sincere, steady. So here we are, all waiting for that single public moment. Maybe a step and repeat, maybe a quiet arrival together at a charity night, Maybe a candid photo that nobody can deny. Will this love step cleanly into the present and outpace the shadows of what went wrong, or is this a tender rehearsal for something else? The only clear truth is that they're trying. They're risking. They're writing again with clearer ink. If you followed them from the beginning, you can feel the evolution. The first time around, it was heat. Now, it looks like warmth. Before, there was rush. Now, there's rhythm. The glamour is still there. How could it not be with two people like Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda? But there's more quiet courage than flashing lights. More substance than spectacle. Whether this becomes the comeback romance of the year or a beautiful interlude that helps them grow in different directions, one can't deny what's evident between the lines: respect, care, and hope. If they choose to speak, let it be on their terms. If they choose to remain a little mysterious, perhaps that's wisdom earned the hard way. We'll be watching with kindness, we hope. When the first official photo arrives, or when they take that first public step together, you'll hear it here. Until then, we wish them exactly what they seem to be reaching for: strength without noise, love without hurry, and a second act that honors the lessons of the first. This brings us to the end of our video. If you enjoyed spending time with us, please subscribe to Lights on Turkish Stars and share this story with other fans who are holding their breath for what happens next. Goodbye for now.